Good morning, everybody. Sorry for the tardiness. I'm having some technical difficulties this morning. The internet keeps going down and coming back up and going down and coming back up. And all of a sudden, my computer decided it was going to shut down. Who all is in the chat? Good morning, Lag. Good morning, Jabus. Good morning, Pet and Prophets. Laggy. Ping. Good morning, Ping. Anybody else? Good morning, Anessa. Yeah, like I said, I'm having issues, which Roberta say I always have issues. So that's that. Sorry about that. Um, Good morning, Todd. How are you this fine morning?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Well, now that I've got everything apparently running, there's the link if anybody wants to jump in here with us. Good morning, Texas Val. How y'all doing down there in the fine state of Texas? Oh, anyway. Um, so how's it been going
All
down there for you today?
right. Just waking up. I put together my auction pickup video. I'll be uploading it after the show.
Right.
If anybody's interested in seeing the crap that I buy to sell, bunch of new stuff. I still got to test some hand dryers.
I'm
I
not
got
mentioning them.
I got a lot of stuff to do.
Is the
Bum, bum, bum.
um
Lag will watch it. Lag always watches my videos. Thank you, Lag. You're the diggity dang bestest ever best.
he's a good lad. Lag's a good lad. um
Morning, Spam, Hank, Chabas, Texas Val, Ping, Julie,
Spam,
whoever
good
else,
morning.
Chabas, Lag. Who else am I missing? Probably, I don't know. There's
Oh, there's
Chastity.
Hank. I didn't see Hank. Sorry, Hank. You were right above Spam.
So,
Um
oh, Anessa, you special darling. There you
Chastity.
are.
Good morning, Chastity.
You're just special.
So
Why do I watch? I don't know, because you like to see two old grumpy men resellers just getting wild and crazy up
that's
in
right.
here.
Yeah. Did you hear that? We need to start a GoFundMe so Todd can fill his pool. How's that coming along? Did you get it filled up?
Well, I was supposed to, but a couple of the corners came loose, so the pool company came out yesterday morning and said it's too cool. It was about right around 60 degrees yesterday morning when they tried to do that, but the vinyl was too stiff, so
Right.
they couldn't get a grip on it and pull it up, and so they had to wait until like a sunny, warm day, which may be today, and then we can top off the pool. I got water up above the bottom steps, so it's a
You,
little more than half full now. So there's that. That's going on in my life. It's amazing when you get my age how busy you stay. You know? Did my auction pickup yesterday, and that was a full day. And
Did you buy anything exceptional that you'd like to talk about?
uh, just more stuff. I have a wide variety. Wide, I'm telling you, wide.
How was your sales yesterday?
That's pretty good. I sold 7 items for $300.
Okay.
Sold a Canon AE1 camera was the big sale. $106 plus shipping on top. What else did I sell yesterday? But yeah, I got a wide variety of stuff. I got a couple of pieces of sterling silver jewelry, and I got a pair of Ford F-150 headlights. I got some tools. I got some art paint brushes and color pencils.
Did you say F-150 headlights?
Right.
Is that like the assembly that the headlights fit in, or actually the bulbs?
Yeah, the assembly.
Now, will you sell them? Do you have left and right? Will you sell them together or sell them separately?
I'll probably sell them together.
So you beat your daily average yesterday,
Not by much.
but 300 is greater than the 200 number you quoted.
Yeah, to hit my 100K a year, I need, what did I say, 290 or something like that
Yeah.
every day.
So
So
how much?
yeah,
And that's based on where you stand at now.
no, that would be 290 a day if,
You sold it the whole year.
but I'm at least 10 days behind on sales average being, so I'm probably above $300 a day now to finish the rest of the year. But oh well, if I don't get there, I don't get there.
Chesty said she sold a plush, a false graph trivet, and a set of little people. Didn't somebody in our group buy some little people?
I was looking at some Fisher Price.
Yeah, that's. Roberta said that sounded nice. Do what? Oh, okay. She said it sounded weird. Okay. Fisher Price Little People Toys.
We sell
God.
we sell midgets.
uh, I knew somebody was looking at them, and I thought somebody bought them. Did Chris buy them?
Nah, they they had the big toys that went with them. Those weren't gonna fit in my suitcase, so I didn't get them.
Now there is a big yard. I mean, big yard sale, big flea market in Tennessee, also, right? Isn't that the one that in Nashville? Isn't that the one that Scott drives up to? Because I heard somebody talking about going to the flea market, and I know Scott talks about one.
There's a bunch of videos out there of people going to the Nashville flea market when
That's
we
it,
were up there. I don't know if Scott goes to the flea market.
right? Tamara did. Tamara did what, Anessa? Bought the toys, little people, or went to the Nashville flea market? Good morning, Jake. You out repairing and evicting this morning? It's the 12th. It's
There's a flea market in Waco, and I've been to it maybe twice, and that was, gosh, 5, 6 years ago. I don't know why I don't go to it. I guess because they get plenty of other stuff to
good.
sell without.
Good morning, Julie. Yeah, see that you called Julie. You called it Timu stuff. It just seemed like there was the flea markets around here was predominantly that kind of stuff. Um,
The
like the
one,
people
the
we
one in
have,
Waco, about half of them were like products made in Mexico,
right?
like pottery and
Good morning, Maple.
hats and
Right.
crappy boots and uh, and then all the trinkets.
The flea market we have in Fort Mill, it's like we have booths that are like dealers, Matchbox cars and electronics and rugs and that kind of stuff. And then you move further back, and then there's all the people with the banana boxes full of stuff, you know, dollar stuff. But if they only pay like 3 cents a piece for them, that's some pretty good money if they sell a few. But and then there's just a small number of people selling junky stuff. And when I say junky stuff, I'm talking about they're cleaning out their house, that type of thing. And the junky stuff is kind of what I like to look through. And if Bearded Picker's listening, there's somebody always out there hustling ladies' undergarments. Um, it was a barnyard. I don't. They must have lost the. They must have quit renting it. Now it's back to Miller Flea Market, the one that's right there at Carowinds Boulevard. Jabus. It was, and it's a nice building. I mean, as far as yard sale flea markets goes, I think it's a pretty nice building. Yeah, his name's Scott. Uh, so how's everybody else's sales going in the chat? Are you doing what you want to do? Are you doing about normal?
Call from 170-466-9289.
Everybody that heard that number, call that number back. Yeah, well, it's at the end of Carowinds Boulevard, basically. Um, like I said, is it? Are you doing about? A lot of people are talking about. The sales have gone to pot. Sales of we're just not selling anything. Scott kind of hit on it yesterday. Is your sales about where they're normally at? That's a yes or no answer. So for those that don't like to type, yes or no. Are your sales about where they're normally at? And the second question is, with all the tariffs and all of that kind of stuff, what's your thoughts on how it's going to affect your reselling? Dang, everybody typed at one time. Nope, hers is not. Lags is higher.
I think the
Pings is
effects
no.
of the tariffs are.
JB says April, May is a bit higher than the past few years. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Todd.
I think the tariffs are going to have an effect, but I don't think it's going to be earth-shattering. But I think it's all in the future. You know, we just don't. There's no predicting what it's going to come to. I mean, Scott said a bunch of Chinese factories were shutting some things down, but what's that going to look like? It probably won't affect stuff until another several months down the road. Like,
I'll be right back if you can hear me.
Okay, I bet it's going to be tough for businesses to get their items for this coming Christmas in. You know, China makes all those ornaments and toys and everything related to Christmas. But we'll probably start. I would think we'll start seeing the effects more around Halloween time than now. Yeah, but like major win, like uh Josh was saying, even if a Chinese company built like toys in Mexico, they still can't get them over the border because they're a Chinese company. And the same if China shipped the toys to Canada and then try to get them into the United States, there's going to be some Chinese. So I don't know. Do, do, do. Bum, 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 bum. Anyway, so check out this little bitty silver belt buckle. That's a little guy. I don't know if it's for women or it's a Native American. Sterling silver. But it's not like great big cowboy belts. Shut up, spam risk. That guy spam risk keeps calling me. But check it out. That's pretty cool. I suppose it would fit pretty good on a man's dress belt. And then I got a little. It's kind of a pendant. It's got a monogram on it, but I can't read. You know those really fancy monograms that you can't really read what the letters are? That's what these are. I don't know if it's a JH or GK or any,
Right.
But this is, they call this in the comps a luggage tag pendant.
Say that again. A luggage tag pendant?
Luggage tag pendant. Everybody look up sterling silver luggage tag pendant.
What was Lag asking you? Or did you already answer that? Good morning, Mike.
So everybody there, sterling silver luggage tag pendant. And they're pretty cool. But they got lots of filigree and all sorts of engravable area on them. And I don't know if anybody ever really used them for
Actual pendants. It looks like
for
most of them turn them into jewelry.
yeah, maybe like for charms or
Yeah. There's a lady. I'm looking at. What am I looking at? I'm Etsy. They're like pendants, and
look like they would work good as like a large charm for a bracelet.
yeah, some of them are using them. And if you have two of them, you can make ear bobs. Anybody know what? Do you know what that is?
Earrings.
Ear bobs. Yeah, earrings. My grandmother always calls them ear bobs.
But it's pretty cool. This one is made by
Hey, Carol.
Faree, I think.
Um, you know, maybe those are from the olden days, like when Todd traveled as a child. But nowadays, people would be ripping them damn things off as they're going through the luggage carriers.
I know. They're like,
That'd be 30 bucks a pop, depending on them. Because it looks like some of these. Oh, there's a few in the 70s and 60s, but they look pretty big.
did everybody just Google that? I mean, look at that. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
They would work, you could just make it into a necklace or maybe attach it to when dinosaurs walked the earth, there were sterling silver luggage tags.
I'm sorry. And
But
who was the hateful person that said that?
they're all selling around $14. So, I mean, $40.
Yeah.
Looks like $40 is the sweet spot. But this one already has initials on it. I suppose a jeweler could buff those out and then somebody could put their own.
You haven't got your
on there.
jeweler's wheel yet?
Jeweler's will.
Yeah, they're like to me, they look like a grinder in a shop, but they have the softy wheels on them.
Oh, I thought you said will. You said wheels.
Wheels, yeah. A wheel.
Wheel. How do you
Well, I
say
said wheel because I meant one, but if that's confusing things, wheels.
I thought you were talking a will, like last will and testament.
Yeah, I am not lag. Okay, I'm not concerned about your wheel. Lag and Mr. Sadie, they're expected to be mentioned.
Okay, raise your hands. How many people thought Tom said will instead of wheel? You got to get some what in there. What? Will. Not will.
Okay.
Mike says, leave it alone. It will sell well with the monogram.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're supposed to be on my side.
Anessa heard will instead of wheel.
Well, that sounds like, you jumping into Stewie on Family Guy territory because he always throws that WH sound in there. I thought the H was silent.
Wheel.
What do you have on your what are those round things on your truck?
Tires.
Okay, expand on that a little bit.
It's a wheel. They're wheels, like a steering wheel.
Like
It's not a steering wheel. It's a steering wheel. You don't hear the difference, do you, Tom?
No, I don't.
So
You're not
Jabez,
helping, Jabez.
see, Mike heard will. A jeweler's will.
Okay, okay.
But I got to give you a hard time. So there you go.
Yeah, it's the same thing, Chastity, in the South.
A will is not a wheel. A wheel is a wheel, and a will is a will.
Okay, Mr. Pronoun, Mr. School Teacher.
But
Anyway, have you got one of those things with the padded so you can polish and all that kind of stuff?
I do not.
What you should be able to get you one pretty cheap. Let's take a looky. Because I mean, seriously, you spend so much, you buy so much silver and stuff like that. Jewelers. Wheel.
Yeah, I know what you're saying now, but that's not what it sounded like.
Okay, well, it happens when you get old. Okay. Jewelry polisher. Okay, that's what we'll start saying. Adjustable variable speed bench grinder polishing and buffing machine. $81.99 on Amazon. I mean, I'm just saying, since you buy so much silver and all that kind of stuff, and you don't have anything else to do, you know. Everything I bought in Nashville were for gifts, Jabez. All my yard sale finds. Roberta got a change purse. Yeah, thank you, Chastity. It's like people pack the calves in Massachusetts. You've already sold 3 things? Far out? No, I know you were kind of on a modified time frame for your trip out here this time. Do you think you'll extend it so you can not be in a rush, Chastity, the next time? I said out here, but I meant to Nashville. Because Todd will probably be driving the truck, or he'll be buying him a one-way ticket so he can drive back.
What are you talking about?
Nashville finds. Chastity says she sold 3 of her things that she bought out there.
Yeah, I've sold at least 2 of them. Let's see if I sold anything else from there. Ba, ba, ba.
See, Julie, I think little kids speaking with an accent is so cute. But the adults should know better. It's Will.
No,
Whether it's a car tar or 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 a, a means of transferring your possessions after you die, it's still Will. He's waiting on batteries, Jabez.
no, I got the watch listed. It works great.
Did you get your battery?
Yeah.
Okay, and it works good.
Yeah.
So you got what, $2 in it now? $1 for the watch, $1 for the battery? Roughly.
Yeah, something like that. So I listed it for 75. Let's see if I got any interest on it.
If I happen to go before Todd's going to reach into because I know he'll come to North Carolina just to say this. He'll lean down into my casket and say, "I can't believe you left that $75 on that table in Nashville."
I know. Tom and I are going to meet in heaven when he finally gets there, and I'm going to say, "See, I told you so."
Yeah. Uh,
That's if it ever sells. I would accept a $65 offer though. Yeah, welcome to heaven. Now, about all that stuff you just walked past in Nashville, let's have a talk about that.
that's right.
Cause you're just a big.
Everybody will be driving it to Nashville next year because it will be who can fill up their vehicle the fastest with crap. Which if Todd and would have had his truck, he would have probably went back with a truckload like Scott and
Oh, I would have gotten a lot more
oh
stuff.
yeah,
We passed by some lamps and stuff like that. Like vintage lamps and all
right.
sorts of. There was all sorts of good stuff that. Nope, that won't fit my suitcase. Here, but you buy it. No, I ain't gonna buy it either. I'm like, you're a big dummy,
Dumbass. No, he's going. What a dumbass. Uh,
right? Because I don't know, y'all would just walk through a garage sale, and I would sit there and look at stuff.
well, I was not.
I got
That's it.
those 3 jackets for $30, and I've listed those for like 150 for all three. Y'all are just walking past $50 bills, just bam, bam, bam.
Um,
Oh, I got something at the auction. I don't know what it is, so y'all tell me. Let me go get it.
okay. So, all of you mommies, have you told your children what you wanted for Mother's Day? Because it's a coming. We got to spend this weekend packing.
Okay, this was in with a bunch of yarn and stuff, and it looks like it clamps to a desk.
Okay.
It's got a handle on it. And look, it spins when you turn the handle.
Okay. I don't know anything about knitting, but is that like when you get the yarn from the store, you would run it through that little loop and attach it to that, and you could
Yeah,
reel it up to into a ball.
that makes sense, I guess.
I don't know. That's just what it looks like. That's what I would think it'd be.
So it's like a yarn winder upper.
Yeah, yarn winder upper.
Yard.
Yarn.
I thought you said yard.
No,
Would you speak?
yarn.
Would you speak the Lord's English, please?
Well, of course I will. It's yarn.
Royal yarn winder. Well, by God, there it is.
Is that what it is?
It's a yarn winder tool.
Pow.
So, let's see. Hand crank yarn winder. Huh. They're worth like 25 bucks. Well, I'll be darned. How much did I give for the yarn stuff? I got a whole bunch of needles and stuff with it too. I gave $12.50 for all the yarn stuff and the winder. So the winder will pay for everything, and then I got all kinds of needles and crap.
Well, that's a cool find. And that I want to just be honest with you. I was just pulling that out of nowhere. When you held it up there and turned the handle, I thought that's what it's got to be.
Yep, I'm clamping it on my desk right as we speak. So you get it like a skein. Is it a skein or a skein of yarn? I've heard it called both things.
Yeah,
Is
just
it a
depending on where you're at in the world.
skein or a skein? How many yarn winders are listed? I don't know. Let me look. Dun, dun, dun. Listings for yarn winders.
What's the shipping on those, Todd?
138 yarn winders are listed. Do what?
What's the shipping on those?
What do you mean shipping on them?
How much are people asking for shipping to ship it?
I don't know, like between 6 and 15.
Okay.
Well, this is fun. You can just sit there and do this, and it's just enjoyable. Da 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 da. It's the simple things in life that make it worth living. Look, I'm pretending to wind yarn.
Oh
It's
Lord,
kind of fascinating. It's kind of like a.
it's a yard winder. A yarn
You said it
winder.
again. A
I know I
yard
did.
winder.
That time I said yard. A yarn winder.
Yarn winder.
You take a skein of yarn and it spins it down to a manageable
Is it
log.
a skein or a skein? We're
Well,
having trouble
Anessa
with.
says skein. She says her grandma was an avid knitter and she said skein. I'm putting a hard K on that.
My mom always put skein on it. I got some other knitting. I got a big old box of knitting stuff. Here we got knitting needles that have a string between them.
Hey, Beard.
Why would you put a string? I thought knitting needles didn't have a string between them, but these do. There's a whole bunch of those. Here's one new in package. Classic circular knitting needles. What's the point of the string between them? All right, let me look up circular knitting needles.
For round stuff like sweaters, Joanna says. So it would be a continuous. There wouldn't be a seam up the arm. Is that what you're saying, Joanna? Lag. Little X up in the corner.
Well, these aren't worth very much individually, but I got a whole bunch of them. I can lot them up.
New Knitters Starter Pack. Throw a bunch of
go.
different stuff into it.
Man, I got a bunch of stuff. I got a whole bunch of crochet needles too.
Now, my aunt was a big crocheter. She's the one I've mentioned before that could sit there and crochet and hold a conversation with everybody in this show and watch TV at the same time and never drop a stitch. And this is it. I mean, excuse me, Joanna, Joanna, JoJo.
What is this? This looks like something you would dip in honey to get, like a honey dipper. But it was in with the yarn. It's a piece of wood with a stick on it.
Is there not a name? I mean,
this is a WPI. It's wraps per inch. knit card. What? WPI toolkit. All right, let me look that up.
Piss him off.
WPI
Oh, I didn't mean her. I put the.
tool
Who did I just?
kit.
And this is. I mean,
I guess I put knitting. I don't see it.
Joanna, would you please type something in the chat? It just can be gibberish. I was trying to exert my authority, and I think I put the wrong person in the timeout.
Wraps per inch.
Oh God, did I put her in
WPI wraps per inch. I don't see one like this.
Johanna. Okay, I got it. And no, and guess what? I can't put I can't put a moderator. I can't put a moderator. I can't time out a moderator. So that's good. So sorry, having an old man technical issue man morning. Johanna. How long have we known each other, Johanna? And I still don't get it right.
Johanna, Bana,
Hell,
Bobana,
I can't even
Banana,
do.
Fana, Fofana, P. Never mind.
I'm gonna start taking wrenches away because I can't put people with wrenches in timeout.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do, do, do. Yarn winder.
well, that's $30 right there, Beard. He's probably got a $50 bill in that box that he only paid $21 for.
$12.50
$12.50. Sorry.
plus buyer's premium, so that would be $13.75. Anyway, piss. My name rhymes with piss.
Your name is Annie.
Annie.
Is it Anessa or is it Anissa? Since we're correcting everybody's name this morning for the old guy that can't read. Oh, that's pretty cool, Todd. I honestly didn't know they made such a thing.
A yarn winder?
Yeah, which we don't knit, so I wouldn't know.
Gwen does some crochet. She may grab this. Maybe that could be her Mother's Day present.
Yeah, tell the boys to send you $30 that you bought their Mother's Day present.
S-N-A spelled backwards. Maybe if all of Gwen's yarn was wound up into little balls, the puppy would quit playing with them.
No, I'm not buying a yard winder. Yarn winder.
A yard winder.
A yard winder. A yarn winder.
Hey, where's Tara? Tara Carey. Tara Carey. Tara Carey.
Happy birthday. It's her
Tara's
special
birthday.
day. Go to her store and give her some pay. How about that? Off the top of my head. Yeah, Tara's 29 today. Damn, Jim's like 56.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Hmm.
So anyway, so some people said their sales were about the same, some a little bad, a little better, some saying worse. Um, it sounds like normal for me, but I guess if you look at the long haul, what's going to happen? Are people going to be hoarding their crap instead of selling it at flea market or yard sales? And this price is going to go up at
According to
yard sales and
Scott,
flea markets?
more people are going to be putting their stuff on live selling. That's the scuttlebutt.
People are going to be doing more live selling?
Yeah,
Like,
if you got a bunch of stuff that you need to just move because
right.
you're just overwhelmed with stuff that you don't want to list, get on Whatnot, get on Dibdit, get on District, get on. A lot of people still sell stuff live on YouTube.
Yeah. Now, did I hear something or did I dream it that eBay was looking into getting into the live selling format?
They've been going to do that for
Oh
6 years.
God. Okay, hold on to your butts, people, because it's getting ready to go off the
I
track.
know. We're fixing to quit talking about yarn winders and talk about flat Earth
Yeah,
theory.
that's right.
You're just trying to strengthen up your left wrist, you see, girlfriend. We know it.
Yeah, James, you can just call me Chaz. Um,
Hello, yeah, we changed camera. Uh, no, I don't
Join.
think it's. I think used vaccines will become more expensive. They'll become more valuable. But I think the problem
Scott,
is
can you sit a little bit closer to your mic? You're like we're catching like every other syllable. Sorry,
I I
that's
say
better.
I think the problem is. Let me make sure the right mic's checked it. Yeah, I think the problem is the farther along we go down this path, the retail sector is going to hurt from not having inventory. And so, what happens when retail stores don't have inventory? What else don't they need?
They don't need employees.
They don't need employees. He got the right answer yesterday. Um, so I don't. It's going to be the only good thing that happened yesterday after the show was Trump announced that one of the big countries was coming to an agreement. So I think he's going to announce today that the U.S. and UK have reached a tariff agreement, which didn't make any, that one doesn't make any sense because we have a net we we export more to the UK than we import, so we have a, a surplus there. But they also said something yesterday or day before about India. India was aligning with the US versus there were some questions about India because they had signed up for BRICS or whatever, but they have decided that they've taken enough shit from China that they're going to side with us. If he gets a deal with India, it'll bring China to their knees. China will come to the table very quickly if he gets a deal with India because India has the population and the workforce big enough to outplace China. Um, yeah, a lot of thrifts have gone up a little bit in prices, but uh, yes, India was part of BRICS 100%. India, Brazil, China, Russia. I think that's the ones, the big ones.
Yeah, and just a bunch of like South Africa. I mean, African countries, South American countries. Um, everybody that all these countries that gets little checks from the U.S. of A. You know.
I mean, I challenge you. I hope you guys listen to me. Go on YouTube and watch from the Chinese side, and they're not telling you how bad it is on Chinese side. They're just not. The Chinese consumer cannot replace the U.S. consumer. They can't turn all this stuff inward because the Chinese, um, they per capita, they just don't buy like we do, and they don't buy like the rest of the world does. They are very low on the list of, most Western countries are consumer countries. China is not a consumer country, even though they are. It's by sheer population they sell a lot of items just because it takes that basic needs, but they don't. It's they don't fall for the same marketing crap I was trying to explain yesterday. Where do I upgrade my iPhone 15 to a 16? You know, they, it's none of the craziness that the throwaway society that we live in on this side of the world or on this side of the horizontal plane.
But yeah, what's going to happen to Dollar Tree and Dollar General and
Dollar Tree's gonna, at stores like that. So Dollar General is probably a little better prepared. They have more of a reputation for carrying more, you know, more food items and those kind of things that they can get and sell. Look at if you have to take out Dollar Tree's China stuff, what's left?
milk and eggs?
Well, Family Dollar's closing a lot of stores, and they are on the Dollar General side. But I think that we make fun about you got a population of one, they'll put a Dollar General there. You got to put a if you got a population of 10, they'll put two Dollar Generals in a store in a town. I think that's going to come back to be a plus because people won't have to travel so far to get their laundry detergent if they can afford it, or their Dollar General start and carry a lot of like dairy products and stuff like that too. So um, I think it's going to get back to like back in the old days when Todd was a lad, uh, where you just walk to the corner store. That's where the grocery store was at, instead of driving across town to.
And Johanna is correct. The cheap China. I mean, the mass marketing of all that crazy, just ridiculously cheap crap. Vintage is hot right now, and a lot of the older stuff. You find a can opener from the '70s. You know what's wrong with that can opener? Not a damn thing. It still works. Those hand can openers.
The plastic little covers on the hand part maybe has broken off. Get some damn duct tape.
But it'll still open every can in this generation. Stuff was made with real materials. I think that's a lot of the problem is it is things are so cheaply made. The absolute minimum they can. Uh,
Because they want it to break, and you did go back to Dollar Tree or wherever and buy another can opener using
no,
can openers. Because
so
that's been I bet you about a can opener at least 10 times a week.
on a Peddler Profits, you do have a point. Not everything from China. China's just associated with that, but
Yeah.
they still make a lot of household appliances and stuff that are pretty solid for the most part. It's the everybody a lot of the electronics and stuff are some of that is moved out of China, but there's quite a bit of dishwasher from the '80s still going. How many times do you guys like me go into these estate sales and you'll look at and they've got the '60s and '70s almond or green appliances. That stuff still works. And when we were in North Carolina, the people down three houses down still had that old silver aluminum stuff that used to be like in the wall and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It still worked, even though she didn't use it anymore. She used countertop appliances. She wanted the look, and she kept it clean and operational just because it was. I mean, it was a decor design and that kind of. She's like, I could use it if I wanted to, but she uses the modern appliance. Just cool stuff that just works.
How many? I went into an estate sale and they had one of the old. They had a built-in dishwasher, but they had one of the old dishwashers that you roll over by the sink.
Right.
and you'd throw the drain over into the sink, and then you screw the hoses onto the faucet, and it had a big old it. They were wanting 400 for it, and it had a sold sign on it. Uh,
Yeah, the coolest estate I ever went to was one where they sold the entire kitchen. I was telling that yes, it had the old mixer shelves in it and all that stuff in it, all the built-in. It was mainly aluminum kitchen, man. That was the coolest house. They sold that kitchen, the entire kitchen. The people were coming to disassemble it to take it out to put it somewhere else.
Hmm.
James talked about. You're right. Dollar Tree does own um,
Family Dollar.
Family Dollar. I think the Dollar Tree name will go away because
It's
Dollar Tree is looked at for cheap crap, and I think they'll restart rebranding the Dollar Trees to Family Dollars and get into the more of they're headed towards the Family Dollar line of products now.
yeah. Johnny sent me something yesterday. It was a. It'll take me a minute to find it because yesterday when I logged into TikTok, I had like 27 ones she had sent. I'm like, do you not have any? But it was like this this lady was they were selling everything, but the stove was not for sale. The stove was just ridiculously cool. She
Anissa,
sent it to me just to show me the stove.
Do they want a lot of money for it?
Jody sent me a picture. They had a night camera they called a beaver in somebody's backyard, and the whole thing was a beaver farted. She sent me a video of a beaver fart, and I'm like, really?
Did you
Yeah,
look at
it's
the thing I sent you about the ice box?
yeah, that's the India siding with the U.S. That's what there's something coming.
Hmm.
I think these BRICS countries are kind of worried about the fact that without America's buying power,
She sent me that one. Somebody's got their kid out there waiting at the ice machine, telling him, "Hold on, the ice is coming. The ice is coming." Have y'all seen these ice machines?
yeah. That is cute.
That look on his face, like,
Yeah. uh, oh, they were 600. Well, Anissa, you're far enough up north that you probably could sell it to one of those yuppie people over in New York City for their redecorations for about $3,000.
I'm trying to find from from frog houses, the people, and that's sad news. If you're of the praying type, one of my favorite bands from the '90s and 2000s is Three Doors Down. I don't know if y'all heard the announcement yesterday. They are a Christian rock band. They always have been. Three Doors Down. I mean, listened to them for hours. Their lead singer, who is probably our age, announced he has stage 4 kidney cancer.
Oh,
They've canceled the tour for the summer, and he said he's not scared. He is very secure and everything, but he looks like he's lost weight since the last time I saw him. It's I mean there's certain bands. Three Doors Down, I can listen to. There's a group a lot of y'all probably hadn't heard of, Toad the Wet Sprocket, that I listen to. I can listen to them for hours and hours too. There's certain groups from the '90s that are, a lot of their music sounds the same, but when there's no bad music. It's just, and so I play it a lot. Chastity has seen them a few times. Uh,
uh, but I really think that there's going to be a lot of countries rethinking this whole BRICS thing
uh,
because you
so
know, without the American dollar,
so we've seen we've seen Toad once. We also saw what's their name? What's their lead singer's name? He did an acoustic album a couple, and Joni got tickets to that in Birmingham, and we were on like the front row. That was uh, So a lot of the band joined him for that for his concert doing that. Those guys doing acoustic music in a small venue. I think there was like 250 people there. It was insane. It was so good. Now every time I see your name, that's all I see now. Damn it.
Oh Lord, you're never going to hear the end of it, Chastity.
You know I have problems.
Yeah. Um, so Scott, what should resellers do to kind of like batten down the hatches,
I
prepare?
I think you need to. It's not a time to take out loans. I was talking about yesterday. I would not incur any debt at this time. Um, you don't know what's going to happen with cars. I mean, cars are going to get hurt because the one thing you don't, even though a lot of them are assembled here, the parts come from around the world. How are
Right.
we going to get? A lot of the parts in your car are, it can be simple parts like it can be. I'll grab a few of these. Some of the stuff that was on that trailer I bought. It'd be as simple as without that, the water pressure doesn't work on. You know what I mean? It doesn't call
Right.
for the. It's not necessarily the they don't have fenders because they'll stamp the metal fenders here. And then you also got to worry about the car, like an AutoZone or something. How many of their parts? Um, yeah, I really think you can have a lot of opportunity early on. If it goes for a long time, we'll be hurt like everybody else. But I do think the parts business, if you're willing to part things out, like I'm parting this blend tech out today. Well, as soon as I finish shipping and making a video, but I sold a bunch of stuff yesterday. And I sold two cameras yesterday that were for parts, which they were Sony. One was a Sony, one was a Canon. I got $60 each for them, broken. Uh, so I've got like four more. I'm gonna list them today too, because people can fix people. I think there's if you can fix things, you have a significant advantage right now. It's can you buy something and make a few tweaks to it to fix it? Then all of a sudden, because the supply is going to be so damaged.
See, Joanna, you're going to be constantly flipping stuff. You got a child that's in that age now where he's going to be outgrowing everything. She said she sold a pair of rubber boots that Joseph outgrew. How old is he now? About 10, 11? I remember him standing up beside the stove stirring a.
But I do think that
Right.
if it goes for a length of time, Tom,
Yeah.
I think there will be an influx of some new resellers again, just because they're going to try anything to, you know what I mean. And I don't blame people. If you're desperate and struggling, and a chance that if you could try something to get you by or to make some ends meet, I think there'll be people that see it as um, an eBay or a Poshmark, especially ladies with Poshmark, as a way to because people will have a lot of time on their hands if they start losing their jobs. I'm hoping
Yeah.
it won't. I'm hoping it won't get to that, but it looks and feels like a great reset coming.
But, people don't have jobs, they're not going to have the money to spend.
And I think that's the problem. I think that's the problem that resellers are going to have is yeah, there's going to be no money to spend.
Dang, Johanna. 12? God, you're getting old. Oh, Lord.
It's Johanna, not Hannah. Is it Hannah or Hannah?
Like Benny Hanna.
That's what I
Okay.
thought.
Well, I
Tom
stand corrected.
struggles with the English language.
Yes, with people's names.
Ask him what a steering wheel is called.
A wheel?
A steering wheel.
A steering wheel.
Wheel, not will.
Hana. Johanna.
Johanna.
No, she's putting a hard A on it.
No, she's not.
Capital H, capital A, N, N, capital A. Anyway, I remember when that young lad was standing beside that stove stirring that thing of apples.
Yeah. How do you say heel, Tom?
You
So Todd is right. Johanna, Johanna. With a
okay?
capital
Whatever.
A, capital A, I'm like, is it Johanna?
Uh,
Heel.
so, to,
Actually, you dropped it. You know,
to her children, is she Joe Mama?
to mama. I'm gonna just throw you. I'm gonna just start dropping H's. It's ill.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, it's a strange time to be alive for sure. For all the craziness that's happening, and then don't go down some of the rabbit holes I've been down lately and read with the growth of AI and how far it's come in the last 18 months and what it's going to do in the next 2 years. That's insane. That'll scare the hell out of you to start understanding the leaps and bounds that it's taken.
But you know, I've been reading articles about it too, and some people have tried to use it to put together legal contracts and that kind of stuff. And one company I read about left out a clause, and it goes back to their legal people did not read the contract before they sent it out, and it cost the company like $25 million because that one little clause was left out. So I think people are going to have to start saying they're going to have to start for anything other than YouTube videos or TikTokers. I think you're really going to have to watch what it does.
Well, that's an opportunity there. So until the advertising money dries up, that's that kind of content creation. And
Uh,
the one thing people are not talking about is in the middle of all this, Tom, is June 16th. June 16th. And I'm not talking about Juneteenth and all that crazy made up shit that they try to force on us. June 16th is an important day for social media.
what's that?
Um,
That's when TikTok is gone?
that is the absolute drop dead day for TikTok. Is 100% correct. Damn, Todd, you smart today. Look at you go.
Well, you've
He's young and
said it
hip.
about 30 times before.
That don't mean Tom pays any attention whatsoever.
Well, I thought it was supposed to go away in May.
No, with the extensions that he could legally do that were built into that law,
Okay.
June 16th is the last day. There must be a U.S. buyer by June 16th. And nobody's really talking about it because I don't think ByteDance is going to sell at all.
What? What did you say is gonna sell it all?
ByteDance is the name of the corporation behind
Oh,
TikTok.
okay.
BYTE, ByteDance. I think it's ByteDance.
Like,
Byte.
swear to God, you're gonna make me pull up YouTube and pull your rich, aren't you? So I can mute you. Uh, oh Lord.
We need to be able to add some like things to the screen. So every time Lags types something, I need to be able to add like steam coming out Tom's ears.
Yeah. uh, a lot of people make a lot of money, allegedly make a lot of money off of TikTok.
Well, TikTok Shop is very powerful. There are a lot of people that are making money through the affiliate marketing and the selling. You go over there and listen to people you put something up. Remember, that's a young people dominated thing. It's us old people. I hadn't bought anything on TikTok Shop, but there's quite a few people if you watch resellers who've been getting decent deals.
Right.
So
Yeah, be real, real gentle.
mm-hmm.
What's Alta Vista, Davis?
That's an old search engine. Well,
Is that what it was?
yeah, when Netscape and all them were trying to battle Microsoft for
Cause see, I would have been on.
in the 90s.
I'd still been on AOL.
Y'all remember Netscape? They tried to be a
Yeah.
competitor, and Netscape fell to the side.
But Netscape,
Yeah, how many discs would I get with Netscape on it, for God's sakes?
was Netscape the real big search engine in its time?
It was just a competitor. It wasn't huge. It was.
Yeah, Netscape Navigator. Thank you, Lanchart. Craig. Um, Shut up, Major. You were not even born when that came on, when there were such things. Um, Netscape was a browser. Okay,
Yeah, because remember, the only way you got them in the '90s was that everything you bought had an included disc.
right. Yeah, it was Netscape that took Microsoft to court because Microsoft, all their not Microsoft, yeah, Microsoft had their browser built into it,
Yes,
and
I believe you're right.
they had to spin it up. I mean, they had to make it so you could use another browser, something of that sort.
Yeah, because I had to put it on disc because what were we all downloading it? What 2400 mod or whatever the hell that was
There
to
was
start.
there was a lot of not even doing that. It was like
I remember
9,500 or something like that in the beginning.
96. I remember when we got to 14.4, it was like some kind of victory.
Yeah,
And
at
God,
25.5, it's like, oh,
and when the 56K modems came out, it was like the dam had broke.
yeah.
Now,
Um,
now I'm sitting here mad as hell. They won't. They're still working on the fiber. It'll be another couple of weeks, so we can get a gig up and a gig down.
that's right, 300 bald. I remember that because a friend of mine had a Tandy something. It was a little tiny computer, both wise and speed, and that's what they logged into bulletin boards with.
Yeah, there's Johanna. There's no there's no telling how much. I set a list of like 20 songs, and when I went to bed and wake up and hope that maybe 10 of them finished.
I remember the Commodore 64s too, Craig. And people just don't. They really, I mean, hopefully they do because they see how prices have come down. But computers were expensive, really expensive for
Hey,
the value of the dollar back in those days.
hey, Doug, this is not that kind of chat room. Please stop.
I got a box of floppy disk around here. One of these days, we're going to get a floppy disk reader and see what the hell's on them. Good morning, Glenn. Glenn is another one that filled up his car.
Next thing you'll be talking about a pizza party or something. There, Doug, and we're both to ban you for life.
Yeah. So you think most of it's going to be, no matter what people are saying, it's going to be a wait and see what happens, Scott?
Yeah, because you it can change so much based on the agreements. And if Trump gets some of these things worked out, um, man, my childhood is a bad set of memories. You don't want to go down, Doug. Try being raised in the '70s. My parents are getting divorced because your mother's a lesbian. This ain't the times. This ain't the time where everything's peachy king and you can be whoever the hell you want to. In the '60s and '70s, none of that shit mattered. In
the
the South,
divorce was a big thing on its
not on.
own, and
Yeah, divorce on his own was a big thing in the '70s. Not much less.
the fact that
Uh,
your mother was leaving your father for another woman.
that mama want to go lick cat. Come on, what the hell?
Uh,
It's a wonder I'm as sane as I am.
I never, I never thought that about you, Scott.
That I was
that
saying,
he
yeah,
was insane or that he was sane.
That he was sane. Yeah,
yeah, either one. It's
not
crazy.
much sanity there.
But it all depends what happens. What agreement. If he gets an agreement with India, China I think they will save face and do something. But as long as China holds out hope that they can theoretically beat us at a trade war, which we hold all. The people are so dumb. Oh, but China can withstand us because it's only 15. The U.S. is doesn't as they're not as dependent on the U.S. market anymore. It's only 15.7%. It's because they diversified out through India and or like through Taiwan and all those countries, Vietnam and Mexico. The U.S. still consumes 30% of goods produced with Chinese manufacturers. Don't miss that. It's 30%.
You would have thought that back in 2008, when the real estate collapse threw the United States into a downward spiral, and the fact that it started taking everybody along with us. People the world needs to think about, if the U.S. goes down,
You
everybody's going to
realize
go down.
that had in 2008. Most people don't talk about it either. China suffered greatly, and the only reason why Chinese manufacturing made it through 2008 and our downturn, which was because their government poured in billions of dollars. Don't forget, a lot of these Chinese factories are Chinese subsidized, Chinese, you know, you know, government owned, even though they have a corporation name. Um, they poured in it's estimated upwards of $5 trillion to prop up the economy in 2008 and 2009 to keep China from going under. And they did it all through real estate, and they put all their people to work through construction. What's wrong with the problem with China now? Have y'all seen all these ghost cities over there? These
Yeah, they
cities
built they built New York cities, and not a
and
soul
nobody,
lives in it.
and not a soul lives in these things because that was their answer to keep the people working and to keep them from going under. They can't do it again, so they're in a difficult position where you know it's going to be much harder for them to bail out any sustained trade war the way they did the last time. Yeah, the ghost cities, Johanna, they are absolutely. I mean, these things are monsters, and nobody there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like New York City out in the middle of nowhere, and nobody, maybe just a few people live there. It's a million resident city, and you know 1,000 people live there, and that's pretty much just to try to keep the trash picked up.
Yeah, I was
It,
watching a YouTuber the other day who went there. Went to one of them. This one was beside you like took a took like a ferry across the way, and then all of a sudden, this place is starting to crumble because nobody's there. They're not doing anything. You can see the other city, the sister city across the river, and it's got so many millions of people, but nobody lives across the way, which is weird.
yeah, we got a bunch of people we could send to them, don't you think? Instead of sending them back to wherever they came from, send them to those ghost cities.
But there are some cool cities in China. I've watched some YouTubers lately who have been to these multi-layer cities where they're built, they go up,
Right.
and it's you don't know what floor you're on. It's absolutely insane. These things are so massive.
Yeah, James, that would make good movie sets. All right, it's 10:21. I got to get out of here. The boss lady's here today, and she's got
Yep.
calls. So
I can hear the Lutheran ladies singing my name right now.
I know. Are you going to go buy anything?
Well, if they got anything to buy, yeah.
Yeah,
You always
they
you
got their
always buy something.
they got their tassels on waiting for you.
Tassels. Oh, get out of my head! Tassels on the end of tassels. I mean, really, Scott.
They,
Yeah,
they'd be singing "Swing Low."
Scott, Scott, the good ones can get their boobs going this way, and the tassels going that way. Oh, I am such a bad person.
that's a mental image there for you. Oh my lord!
I'm gonna leave that thought with you now. Everybody, just have that locked into your head for the rest of the day. Uh, thanks, Todd, for coming in here as always. Thanks, Scott.
I knew I could lie. I could liven this bunch up.
Yeah, you can. We've gone from yard winders to old lady boob winders.
Yard winders.
Yarn winders.
Hey, take that yard winder. You might help some grandma pick one up today.
That's right.
I'm gonna walk in there and just imagine little tassels.
We just busting out laughing, and this is you're right. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Thank you all for coming in here. Look for Todd tomorrow, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.